Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode, I guess, of the TOKA City podcast, where we're going to be talking about iGaming and bridging and merging different kinds of experiences and bringing them to this, in my opinion, a little bit left out side of entertainment. So today with us, we got Dmitry Belianin. Did I say that right? I did,
Yep,
right? I mean,
absolutely right. Yep.
I'm pretty good at that. Pretty good at names. A little bit of background here. We were so impressed with Dmitry's work in the industry, especially whenever it comes to marketing. So we decided that we have to do everything to get him on board on our advisory board because we needed his experience and his knowledge from the industry. And I'm super glad that Dmitry, you actually, came on board, and now we're working on this together. So super excited to have you on board. And I guess if you could say a few words and introduce yourself to the people that don't know you. There's probably one or two that are probably going to watch this that don't know you yet. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Todor. It was a great pleasure for me to become your advisor. You guys are building, in my opinion, one of the greatest products I've ever seen in the gaming in the recent years. So when you guys asked me to join, it was a no-brainer for me. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be a part of the team, and hopefully we can crush some really good results in the future. So a little bit about myself. I'm an iGaming nerd. I'm in the iGaming industry for almost like 17 years. I've never done anything apart from that. So I've been like an affiliate. I was working for the B2B companies. I spent a few years in the crypto gambling industry as well, and now I'm running one of the largest and fastest growing sports betting and online casino companies in the world as the part of the Growy team. So we manage Party Match brand in a bunch of jurisdictions like Latin America, Africa, Asia. We work with a lot of nice and loud names in the industry like Chelsea. We used to be Conor McGregor's partner, so we've done a lot of nice and fun sponsorships and activations all over the world. We're quite bold, aggressive, and I'm happy to lead that machine right now as the commercial director and be able to drive these results and hopefully the same results to TOKA in the near future.
Wow. Thanks a lot, man. This is, I never realized you were in the industry for 17 years. I mean, how old were you whenever you got into this?
I was 17 years old, man. I
Wow.
was, yeah, I was playing online poker using my grandma's passport because that was the only way I could get in through. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. So you started 17 years ago and you've never done anything else. This is very, very interesting to me. Like it's amazing. Like, so what was your first actual like paid gig in the industry? Like what was it that you did?
Yeah, so I started my affiliate website. So I was playing online poker before that. I played Warcraft 3 professionally. I was playing on a very high level, and a lot of people from my neighborhood, they started playing online poker. So I followed, and then I was like, okay, so these guys like PokerStrategy.com and a few other like big poker websites, how these guys are making money. So I was like, all right, so this is how affiliate business works. And I went and then I started a few affiliate websites myself because I was studying as the software developer, so it was easy for me. I just spent a few sleepless nights, and there you go. So I think I had my first paycheck in like 6 months after working on all these websites. It was quite a decent one for like 18 years old kid at that point. So and I've never looked back then. After that, it was a fun ride. I've exited my first affiliate business for almost like 500,000 back then, and it was a really good like experience for me to transition from the online poker player to the professional poker affiliate, and then venturing further into the large companies such as the one I'm working on right now with like thousands of people working for the company globally.
Wow, dude, this is super impressive. Super impressive. So you literally reverse engineered the way that those poker websites work. You went
Yeah,
for like how they're making the money, and from a poker player, you just transitioned into like making money on the sure side of things, not from the poker, but from actually getting people in there to play. Wow, this is it really
yeah.
is impressive, man. I never knew that, and I'm really glad that you shared it.
Thanks,
So,
thanks.
so there's a few things we've been talking about, like TOKA City and how we're gonna build it, and what ways we're gonna use to actually market it. And we've been hearing a lot about like influencer marketing. Now, I have an ecom background, so we're quite aware of what sort of influencer marketing does for the ecom space. But whenever it comes to the iGaming industry, I mean, we've been seeing what sort of stake.com does with like guys like Drake and Rushton and all that. But like, what are the actual like benefits? Like, how is influencer marketing changing this industry right now?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I've been thinking about it just recently. I've wrote a post about it on LinkedIn just a few days back, and I was kind of going back in time and trying to analyze when I first saw the influencer marketing campaign in iGaming, and I was like, okay, maybe that was like 7 years back, and I think it happened just before the Twitch actually platform came to the market. There was a platform which was called Owned TV. I think that's initially what was like, kind of a pre-Twitch era. And I saw a few guys like playing online poker on that platform. I was like, wow! And they had like 600 people, and it was really like interesting experience for me to watch. How these guys were interacting with the audience, what they were doing, the way they were like promoting a brand they used to play at that time. So I think after that, it's been a long journey, and influencer marketing has truly revolutionized the industry by offering like a direct access to a younger and digital savvy audience. Because if you think about the traditional marketing channels, let's say the affiliate websites, like the review websites, I don't know, like sponsoring the front of the shirt of a team, I think influencer with their authentic voices and established trust amongst their followers, they introduced the casino brands to a more I'd say related and engaged audience, because this is where they kind of just activated their existing communities and just transferred their trust, their attributes, and their following into some other place. So I think that's something which not only boosts the brand visibility but also drives, of course, the higher conversion rates, because one of the most important attributes in the gambling industry is trust. No matter how old you are as the brand, or you just entering the new market, this is the number one attribute, and this is something which is perfectly being transferred with the influencer marketing campaigns. And moreover, I think what's super valuable here is that they can also provide like valuable feedback and insights into the player preferences, so they can help like casinos tailor their offering more efficiently, because they kind of also sitting on the forefront of the customers, insights and everything like that. If you think about the streamers, it's exactly that way, but then you can look beyond. Like you mentioned, Drake was like a music icon, and he joined Stake to become one of their like faces right now, even though they have a lineup of an amazing ambassadors globally. But the way he and his influence, kind of like, as you said, reshaped the whole industry and changed the whole approach to the traditional influencers. Now, like, we will never go back in time, and the influencer marketing for casino will never be the same. So I think it all started with with the streamers, then it kind of evolutionized into the more like a media mainstream iconic kind of era. And now these guys are driving like a crazy results. I'm watching a lot of markets globally, and I think that's a trend you can never stop.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you know how I sort of try and explain that to myself? Because for me, it's, like I've always been a gamer, like ever since I can remember myself. I had the first Nintendo, like I had a Game Boy. I've gone through the whole thing, like the Sega Mega Drive, the whole gaming thing. So
Nice.
then the actual gamers started streaming, and I was like, why would I watch somebody play the game and not playing myself? Like it was like it
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me. Like how so many people are actually attracted to this kind of content. But you know what? I started watching because, like, obviously we're in this industry now, so I started watching the iGaming streamers who are mainly streaming like slots and stuff like that right now, or at least the ones that I'm watching. This is what we're doing, like Rostin, for instance.
Yeah.
But the way that I feel about it is like it's like watching the History Channel and watching, these like the container wars and all that. Like whenever somebody wins big, it excites me. I get some sort of dopamine spike and I get
Yeah.
super excited that somebody's actually winning. And then I'm like, holy shit, I have to try this. Maybe I can
Yeah.
do it as well. And I think this is what sort of makes this whole industry go round, because people are getting like these dopamine hits even though they're not winning themselves. Like somebody else is winning from the other person, excitement from all the emotions that they do on camera and stuff like that. This is how you really get
Yeah.
excited and you get those dopamine spikes, and then you go like, I should go and try this for myself because it really looks cool. I have a
Yeah.
pretty good chance to win. So this is why I started understanding it, and I started watching it now, just because I love it. Whenever somebody like hits like a big jackpot or something, I get up out of the chair, I jump around like I won it, and then I was like, hey, this guy
Yeah.
made some money. That's great. But yeah, I do
Yeah.
understand it now, and to me, this is going to be something very important for the development of TOKA City. It's going to be something. And you know what, I think that a lot of people really come from the gaming industry, and what we're building would feel very natural for them, and they would really like the content that they can create using the TOKA City platform. Because right now what you're watching is still exciting, but most of the time it's like the dude at a green screen and the slot machine just running behind his
Yeah.
back. So
Yeah.
there is a certain level of excitement to this, but there could be so much more. I mean, it could just get so much more entertaining, and this is where we want to get. So my
Yeah.
next question is
Honestly,
like, yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
honestly, I saw one of the highlights of the stream where the guy was playing TOKA City, and I think I've never seen his chat like being this crazy about him. Just going inside of the game. People were asking, "Wow, is this real? Like, is this a video, or like, are you cheating us?" So honestly, I think the more engagement you bring on the stream, the more your audience will be excited. The better the outcome will be for the product you're representing. So I think in that perspective, like as you said, maybe the audience got a little bit bored with everyone playing the same slot games, even though in the different casinos with the same bonuses and everything. So I think Toka could be one of the most promising products for streamers for the next years to come.
I mean, yeah, imagine just playing like one of the, as we call them, the social games, meaning like sitting down on a roulette table with another five guys around you. Just the
Yeah.
fun, the chat that you can have with these five guys, the fun that you're going to be having. Some of them are going to be winning, some of them are going to be losing, but all these emotions could be sort of translated within the stream itself, and people would be able to feel the emotions of five people playing together, not just one. And we have a lot of cool things coming up. We have things where actual streamers can compete against themselves, and that would be really fun. But my next question, I guess, to you would be, because this is very important for me. Mind you, you have 17 years of experience, and that's like, let's say, about 17 more than me. But what is like, what is, what motivates people to gamble? Is like, you must know the psychology of people. This is something very interesting to me right now. And is it a level of entertainment? Is it dopamine? What is it that these guys are after? Like what are they craving?
Yeah, I think that's another great question. And even though if you think about, like the people, the different countries, different nationalities, you think they're all different when it comes down to their preferences, their user behavior. But what you were absolutely right in just now is that, the way the people were interacting with the games of chance like lies deeply like in a very like beginning of their human psychology, right? It's not something which you can just acquire by watching a stream. This is not something which you might just get slightly distracted by while walking into casino. It's a combination of a thrill of the unknown. It's a combination like of a dopamine rush, of potential rewards, and just like a human desire to challenge ourselves like nonstop. It's just something which is inbuilt very deeply inside of our bodies, and most importantly inside of our heads. I think that beyond the prospects of the monetary gains, like these games are offering us like escape from daily routines. They are providing us like a sense of adventure and a sense of excitement. And I'm doing a lot of research on the human behavior in relation to gambling, and there is always like a different percentage of a certain segments within the list of the audience, but they're always the same based on the country, jurisdiction, whatever the segment, whatever the targeting is. They're always the same, and the percentage just slightly changes. So like as I said, it's always uh, like risk of sorry, not the risk, but like the seek of adventure. Sometimes this is like looking for the monetary gain. Sometimes it's just a way how to spend the time, and it's always like these three segments which are just intersecting one from another. So I think that the players, they're really coming back a lot, and they're always looking for the next big thrill in terms of their new adventure. And I think the key here is the dopamine rush. It's just something why we keep scrolling the social media. It's just why we keep looking at the new TV series which is coming. I think it's pretty much the same for any entertainment industry. And I know there has been a lot of like back and forth about the gambling and its nature, but it's still like the same kind of dopamine injection in the people's minds as the other any entertainment industry. We're just competing for someone else's time. We're competing with the time the people are spending with their families, watching the TV, going to the favorite football game. We're just against all these guys.
Yeah. Wow. See, now that you've said all this, like I've never considered myself a gambler, but listen to this. I had a gold mining business. I used to mine gold, actual alluvial gold, like
Wow.
on the riverbeds in Africa,
Wow.
in Bulgaria, like the stuff that
Wow.
you see on the Discovery Channel. And to tell you the truth, this is this is such a gamble that like I'm convincing myself that I'm not a gambler, but dude, this is exactly what it is. We of course we try to sort of think that
Sounds
we
like it.
have a yeah, that we have an educated sort of guess on where the gold is going to be, but trust me, like it has been where we least expected it, and where we most expected it, it has been like next to zero. So it's been a gamble the whole time, and I guess that this is why I was doing it. Like the fact that you're digging into the ground and you could get like 300 grams of gold in a day. This is the same thing as people feel like by going and like hitting up like those games. The excitement is the same because literally the whole outcome of this entertainment could be the same. You can end up winning a lot of money. And trust me, I've lost a lot more money on my gold mining business than probably most gamblers will ever lose on their, like on going on different sort of platforms or whatever it is, or in Vegas or wherever. So I guess we're all gamblers. It's just like some of us try to dress it up as something much
Yeah.
more as an educated guess rather than, throwing the dice. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. So you mentioned people like from different countries and different upbringings. This is very interesting to me. Like, what are the hottest and sort of like the most the hottest places for, I mean, like regions, as in countries and stuff like that, for gambling, and what are like the least ones where people sort of tend to turn to this kind of entertainment? Is it where, because I know that a lot of the countries are like forbidding gambling. Like, for instance, here in Turkey, gambling is forbidden, and we're just next door. We're obviously in Bulgaria, so there's all these casinos down in the border, which are always full of people coming from Turkey to gamble at that. So I guess it's not really stopping people who really want to do it. So yeah, what are the hottest and the most underrated sort of regions in the world for gambling, in your opinion?
Yeah. I think it's a matter of evolution, which is going in the world right now, and I will explain that part. So I think maybe just like 2 years ago, if someone would have asked me the same question, the answer would have been radically different. I think now there is the new breed of gamblers coming in, and these guys are looking for a fast and very rewarding experience where they can control the pace of the game, pretending it's their, like, the skill set, which is the controlling the game right now. So this is where the crash games and pretty much any game which is based on the outcome where the user controls it are flying right now. And this is something which is radically changing the landscape of the countries which are being involved in the gambling activities as well. So obviously there is the set of countries which were always on the map, and the ones which are the hottest, and I think there will be the hottest for many years to come. This is like, like UK. This is, of course, like Germany. With the regulation, it slows down right now. It's Netherlands, it's Canada, a lot of like big tier 1 countries. But
Wow,
what is
I always thought you
surprising,
would say Asia. Like, I thought you would say Asia, whatever we're talking about, like the biggest gamblers. I never, in my opinion, I've never imagined that UK and Germany will be like the ones that you would mention. That's interesting to me.
So these are the oldest ones. If you come back in the history, when the online gambling has started, these are the oldest. And the Asian countries, unfortunately, right now they are on the gray side of the regulation, kind of a spectrum. Some on the blackish side, and these are the crazy markets in terms of their size and volumes, but they're not either regulated properly or they're being fully restricted. So these are like, honestly, big markets. Like as you mentioned, Turkey is the one of the craziest, like, black hat markets in the world right now. And as you said, people, they travel to gamble, but still they don't really care about the regulation. If they want to gamble, they go to Google, they type in, play online casino right now, and they just find
And they'll
someone.
find something. Yeah, it's not going to be
Yeah,
all sort
yeah,
of forbidden. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So I mean, there's a plenty of markets, but what is surprising me right now is that the markets which were like predominantly sports betting focused markets are now killing it with casino, and I'm talking about the African markets. I think a lot of people are underestimating the influence of casino and fast games in these markets, and I think that this trend will very soon will be revealed. And these are the markets where you don't have access to like good PCs or laptops. They actually skip that period of development of the technology. They just were born with a 5G and a smartphone in their hands. So
Yeah.
they really like the fast experience. These guys, they feel like they are controlling their destiny. They're hustlers. They're players. So that's why the casino and especially fast games are rising quickly in these regions. So, and one last thing to mention here is that, like I started with that point, is the whole industry, not only the iGaming industry, but pretty much any industry in the world is evolving right now, and a lot with the change of like consumer behavior and the whole digital world literally building right now in front of us. So I think that the trend which is migrating from one country to another, not only in like, let's say, e-commerce or entertainment, is also going the same in iGaming world. So someone told me that, like, let's say in Nordic countries, like, I don't know, like 7 years back, casino was the number one product. And in my countries like Eastern Europe, sports betting was the number one product. And they say just, wait a few more years. And that's what happened. And this evolution is just going, hand in hand with the natural evolution of the countries, with their technological evolution, etc. So I feel like, the countries where casino has never existed a few years back is now on the rise. And next years further, it will be even like a much bigger growing trend.
I think you're right. That's very, very interesting. So I always thought that for like a project like ours, the earliest adoption, like for something like this, would be like Asia with all their sort of history within the sort of video gaming industry and all the Web3 sort of games that came out, like Axie Infinity and all these things. That, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll start launching it soon enough to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how do you think that the actual gaming, as in video gaming, is shaping the iGaming future?
This is one of my favorite topics, to be honest, and this is why I'm here as
That's
the
true. This is
advisor for
why
the
I wanted to
product.
get your straight answer on this.
Yeah, the way I see the iGaming is evolving right now is, I think we are like going deep further into gamification, and the gamification elements, which are very traditional for the classical gambling games, gaming games such as leaderboards, achievements, rewards, uh, like pretty much anything which is enhancing the retention and engagement of the users, which has never been existed in gambling a few years back, is now a part of our culture and a part of our like products. So I think as the younger generation, which is, was raised and born on video games, is becoming a part of the significant user base, the convergence of gaming and iGaming will be only intensing, right? And what I'm saying here is that we started with the very small and the easiest to integrate pieces of the gaming experience, such as the ones I mentioned. But the more we go further, the more intersection of the two industries is happening right now. If you look at the games which were before, they were just like, super basic games, like, like a fruit kind of a cocktails, very basic graphics, not many variety in the gameplay, no bonuses, no nothing. So you just press one button, you just spin, and then you're gone, like in 5 to 10 minutes. But what is happening right now is the lines between gaming and iGaming is becoming like literally blurring every day. If you look at the games with their crazy ass like bonus mechanics, where you need to like buy some bonuses, you go in, you need to perform some certain actions, that's so far beyond just pressing one button, right? And where you start looking at, like you mentioned, stake. If you look at the top games which are shown the stake platforms, they're so far away from from the slot games. You have Mines, which is like pretty much one of the first games which
It's
which
like
were available
Minesweeper.
in Windows.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Minesweeper.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, so that's like one of the basic games. So just how crazy is that? Which the game which was like with Windows, I don't know, like 80, sorry, 96, 90, 98
Oh,
or
it,
whatever.
it was before that, man. I've been into computers like from Windows 3.11. This is where this started. This started in the early 90s, like very early 90s, 91. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go.
No.
Now 30 years, 30 years from there, it's available in iGaming. Congrats. So
Wow,
I
you're
think,
right.
like mines, then you have some, like, they call it towers when you need to match some certain elements and you build in the tower, like very, very basic games with a very basic gamification elements are now growing massive popularity. And as I said, it's just because of the younger generation. They play Dota, they play Counter-Strike Go, they play all these crazy big games like, Cyberpunk. They're not entertained enough with the variety and the gameplay of the slot game. So in order to win this audience, which is now, hey, for a second, these guys are now making money, these guys are, founders of the startups, these guys are now billionaires, and they're not satisfied enough. So I think that gaming is shaping iGaming future, and the reason why it's such a very important topic for me, because I was always kind of highlighting the lack of innovation in iGaming, and the projects such as TOKA is literally building that future right now. And this is something where you literally take the gaming experience these guys seen in GTA 5 or any other series, and you take that experience and literally embed the casino elements inside of them. You create the way how these guys are used to interact before with their peers, driving these machines, running around, dancing. You've seen a lot of this happening in Fortnite. They've hosted this like Travis Scott concert, which has attended, I don't know, like few 100,000 people, right? So I think that's how the future looks like, and it's not a question even anymore. That's a fact. And if someone is not willing to evolve, if someone is not willing to accept the new rules and not willing to satisfy the new audience, they're done.
Wow, bro. What can I say? This is music to my ears. This is like listening to my self-talk, like this is what I've been preaching. And like me and you have never really had this conversation like one-on-one to say these things, but these are the exact same things that I've been just like saying over and over again. And this is why I really believe that we're on the right track in the main thing that's the main problem right now in the iGaming industry, which is retention. You get a customer on your website,
Yeah.
but you don't have anything new to offer them. They go like on the next website, they get the same games, they get the same experience, they get a different bonus. So they would come, they would play the bonus they have with you, and they'll just move on to the next one, and that's it. But having them being a part of something like this, having them come back to sort of kit out their avatars, to rank in the ranking list, to actually get them in there. This is why we're building this, and this is why I said I'm not a gambling man, but if I have to bet, I would bet everything once again on what we're building, because this is what this industry lacks. So I'm really excited that we're like hitting this like somebody like you with 17 years of experience, because I would say my experience is more on the video gaming side. And this is
Yep.
why I wanted to bring the video gaming world into the iGaming industry. But somebody like you that's been on the other side of the coin to validate this with everything that you've just said to me is like music to my ears, as I said. So saying all this,
Welcome.
yeah, thanks. Like, I think that we should wrap this up with a good question to sort of finalize all this, and saying everything that we've said now. What do you think is the next really big thing that the iGaming industry needs? Like, what is it that needs to happen in order for us to move forward? Because look at it, Las Vegas, like fucking 70 years ago, it was like one casino in the middle of the desert. There was nothing. Right now, it's the entertainment capital of the world. People go there not only to gamble, but like to be entertained. And everything is so flashy and cool. And there's all these shows, celebrities, everything. Like you could really spend 10 days there and have like a completely different experience every day. And this gambling capital has evolved so much for the last years. And I think that the iGaming industry has just been stuck in time for the last sort of 20 years. Somebody came up with a slot machine that goes on your full screen on your PC or on your phone, and this is where it's been. Or I think that the most exciting thing that's actually happened is having these like live dealers on camera, like looking all bored and stuff, like dealing cards and flipping the roulette. And this is the most exciting thing that's happened within the last sort of decade in the iGaming industry. So what do you think? How is it going to change? How is it going to try and get the Gen Zs and the millennials and all the rest of us that are old but love new entertainment?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've always said that, and I will be saying this until this will change in the future. iGaming lacks innovation, and this is like something which I'm saying for the past 7 years now. When you look at the like industries which are going in parallel, let's say AI, it's been there for so long. If you look back in like Netflix block, like 2017,
Yeah.
these guys were using like generative AI to create thumbnails for their like videos personalized for every user, like 6 years back. So even till now, the AI is available literally on every corner. Like, "Psst, you want to get some AI, this kind of stuff."
Yeah, exactly.
Still iGaming is not really adopting it yet. So I think that your question leads me to a very like visionary kind of a view. If you look in all these utopias, if you look at all these futuristic movies and all of that, I think one of the elements which not many people might agree with me here, but it leads us to a certain VR and maybe AR kind of interaction with the user. If you look at this like futuristic movies, the people, they're always like wearing some kind of glasses. They jump into like immersive experience where they
Yeah.
interact with something, not really moving. There's been a lot of movies with Bruce Willis, and a lot of video games about that as well. So only a few people in this world, including Mark Zuckerberg, they put in a lot of money as their bet towards this. I don't know if you've seen the latest Meta Quest, the one which they've announced with this
Oh wow.
crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, yeah,
yeah.
I have, man. I'm a super geek whenever it comes to stuff like that, man. Like I was I woke up my wife in the middle of the night to show her the new Apple glasses that are coming out, the Vision Pro. Like she almost killed me. I was so excited. I was like, "You have to see this. You have to see this." I literally woke her up in the middle of the night, and yeah. But I'm super excited about that, and I've seen the new Quest. I've seen the avatars. I've seen like how
Yeah,
realistic everything is becoming, and this is where we're headed as well.
yeah. So that's exactly how I see the future will look like. Me and you, we are wearing a pair of nice glasses and nice headphones, maybe like standing or sitting in our chairs with some controllers, and we are just going inside of incredible looking casino with crazy graphics, fountains, birds flying. Like you
That's it.
feel you feel that experience. So just imagine the same like TOKA experience in VR, AR. You have your avatar, you can look in your hands, you can see some, nice way on how your body has changed. You go inside, you interact with some people you've never seen in your life, you have a nice conversation, you might discuss some work, you might discuss some, I don't know, like your kids results in the school, and you just go and you gamble. Like as you said, the current like live casino experience online feels like someone put that incredibly tired woman to deal your cards, and then she
Sure.
just think, when is my shift will be finished, I just want to go home, I'm tired. And this is how it feels like, right? There are no emotions, there is no like connection, and it's all just outdated. So I think if I make a bet right now, next 5 to 10 years, and I see companies are really putting their money inside of this technology, I think the next big thing will be the VR, AR kind of casinos, where if someone will allow us to taste that same feeling of, Las Vegas, as you said, without leaving our house, in the safe environment, where there is no risk of being robbed or whatever the consequences might be. I think these are the ones who will win people's wallet and, most importantly, their time. So this is where I think the next big thing will be happening, and I cannot wait to see like TOKA with my own eyes from the inside, and I cannot wait to sit on the table, and see like all these crazy avatars running around, going into the VIP lounge, going on this jetpack somewhere high in the sky. So that's how I see it.
Well, dude, let me tell you, I don't think we've ever spoken about this, but we are experimenting with the VR headsets already. So this is something that we're working on. But something even more exciting that we're working on is the live dealers for the VIP rooms, where we're going to use the motion capture suits to dress real people in a motion capture suit, and every movement that they actually do would be automatically live translated to their avatar within the actual game. So imagine
Wow.
you sitting on a blackjack table. First of all, your first option would be for you to pick the way that the avatar looks. So you can have like Kylie Minogue, or I'm really bad with cool chicks, man. I'm too old for this shit. Like I always say, Pamela Anderson or Claudia Schiffer. They're all like grandmas now. I don't know who the new hot
Yeah.
chicks are. So anyway, imagine like any Beyonce or whatever could be dealing your cards, or Jay-Z, as a matter of fact. So you can choose like who the dealer would be, and there would be a person behind it who would know your name. They would communicate with you directly. Every sort of movement, to me, it's very important to actually capture the body language as well as everything else. So even if we have the most immersive avatars that have like pre-recorded movements and stuff like that, having somebody like react on your winning or something like this in the way that they would react in real life would give you a different
Wow.
kind of dopamine kick. And this is what we're
Yeah.
working on right now. And the results so far are phenomenal, and the experience is absolutely amazing. So
Wow.
this is of course going to be set a little bit further on the in the roadmap. It's not going to be whenever the MVP is coming out, but yeah, this is definitely on underway, and it's one of the most exciting things that we have planned for TOKA City. So
Wow.
yeah,
I cannot wait to experience this kind of stuff.
That's the greatest thing out of this conversation for me is that we are very aligned on what we think the iGaming industry needs. And for me, this is something that sort of puts my mind in peace, because, as I said, I'm not a veteran from this industry, and having somebody like you sort of start and finish my sentences and be at exactly the same wavelength about what we're trying to build here is simply amazing. And yeah, so I guess we'll both be at the Malta conference together, which is great. This is when I get to meet you in person for the first time, so I'm really looking forward to that. And
Likewise.
yeah, hopefully we'll get some of the people that are watching this here podcast to come and say hello as well. But yeah, that's it from me. If you got anything else to add, if not, we can wrap this up.
I truly enjoyed our conversation, and I'm really glad that our thoughts are so much aligned. I think this is how the greatest products in the world were built, by the team of enthusiasts who were driven with the vision, with the heart, which is burning from one just thought of you and the product you're building right now. I just want to finish with the heart. I don't know if you've seen this new
Oh
feature on
shit! Hold
MacBook.
on. What the hell? Oh no, I'm not on a MacBook, man. This is only you can do this.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
just want to finish this with this new feature, and
There you
that
go.
new feature
AR
is
in
just
action.
yes.
That's
That's what
it.
I was about to say. That's the
That's
AR in
it.
action, and I cannot wait us to do the same in iGaming. Yep.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait for that too. All right. So thank you very much for being here, man. This was episode 1, I guess, of the new TOKA City podcast. So yeah, thank you very much and see you guys later.
See ya. Bye bye.